I think you'll agree that advertising has been chasing humanity throughout our entire history, and sometimes it comes in ways you definitely wouldn't want to see in the middle of the night. Today, I'm going to show you the second part of the weirdest, most disturbing, and even frightening commercials I found on the internet.
Mattel's new baby secret. She whispers, just to you.
You might think that this creepy talking doll has escaped from the depths of hell and is now waiting for the last judgment in our mortal world, but that's far from the truth, although there may be different opinions.
I want to tell you something.
Baby secret tells lots of...
Its story begins in the United States back in 1966, and at that time, toys were much less diverse than they are today. Kids often had a pretty simple choice. Either you played with soldiers or with dolls. This created a huge supply, but it was practically all the same. How do you distinguish one toy soldier from another? And since dolls were extremely popular, many companies were looking for a unique solution that would make their toy stand out from all the others. In other words, everyone was trying to outdo each other in creativity. Someone at Mattel thought it would be really nice if a doll could talk. It would be even better if it could move its lips. As a result of the engineers' hard work, they created something that soon became incredibly popular among children of that time, the baby secret doll. Nowadays, this doll seems quite creepy to us. Its strange whispered phrases, unnatural lip movements, and the overall eerie atmosphere surrounding this toy can make anyone feel uneasy. When I first saw this commercial, I thought it was some kind of joke or dubbing, but it's actually real. It's hard to believe, but in the 1960s, it didn't seem creepy to anyone at all. It was one of the most modern dolls of the time, and many children dreamed of getting it as a gift. I think our fear or distrust is somehow related to the emergence of many horror movies featuring dolls as the main characters, but that's just a guess. Unfortunately, this toy is no longer available on the company's official website, nor are there any mentions of it. But if you have some extra money and want to see this creature of darkness for yourself, you can still find it on eBay for a pretty reasonable price. And since its voice is activated only by a special cord, you don't have to worry about the doll suddenly asking you to tell it your secrets in the middle of the night, although I'm starting to seriously doubt that.
I like to whisper in the dark.
It would be great if you could write your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to my channel. But now let's move on to the next disturbing commercial.
Then they look at the grass, they look at the sky. It's going to be a fine night tonight.
Perhaps it's best to start by saying that this famous Japanese commercial was considered cursed for quite some time. There were stories that at a certain time of night it would change into something especially terrifying, but let's take it step by step. Here we see a black-haired woman in a white dress sitting next to an angry red child with a horn growing out of his head. All of this is accompanied by a creepy song, making the scene even more unsettling. And if you haven't figured it out yet, it's just a regular commercial for Kleenex wet wipes, which aired around 1985. I don't know about you, but I definitely wouldn't want to stumble upon something like this in the middle of the night. When the commercial first appeared on YouTube, people immediately began to come up with various theories explaining its content and origin. The most popular was the legend that it was cursed, as everyone who appeared in it died under mysterious circumstances. Moreover, anyone who watches it becomes cursed themselves, doomed to live in constant fear, although not for very long. And while stories about cursed videos are pretty cliché and not very interesting, the second legend is definitely worth attention. Allegedly, exactly at midnight, the commercial changes its visual style and soundtrack, becoming even more creepy. You can find plenty of evidence supporting this version on YouTube, but all of them are fakes of varying quality. So I can assure you, you're definitely not cursed, unless you've watched my other videos about the most disturbing images on the internet. There is another episode of the commercial, less well known. Here, the horned red child doesn't look as evil, and everything else seems somewhat more pleasant and even a bit cute. You might also be wondering about the fate of these actors. They are not only alive, but continue to appear in other commercials, so everything is fine. In any case, this is one of the most disturbing commercials, with an interesting and creepy legend that many people once believed in. And now we'll smoothly move on to the next. And this commercial is entirely made up of a series of slowly changing images, gradually appearing to rather unsettling music. Soon it ends, revealing its very unpleasant secret. In one of the photos, there was a man hidden among the cut-down trees. Write in the comments if you noticed him the first time. I don't know about you, but I found this commercial quite disturbing, especially the first time I watched it. Trying to read the text and understand what was happening on the screen, I didn't even notice this man. I can only sympathize with those people who once watched it on TV, completely unaware of anything. There's very little information on the internet about its origin, content, or even what this hidden man is doing there and what he's for. However, I managed to find out a few things. The commercial belongs to the Japanese company Seiko, which specializes in the production and sale of wristwatches. According to its description, it somehow symbolizes their new line and the personal qualities of potential customers. That may be the case, but the head of this creepy man doesn't really fit into such a concept. As expected, this issue interested not only me, but also many other people who naturally contacted Seiko. I couldn't find out if they gave any explanations on this matter, but it's known for sure that a new version of the commercial soon appeared, in which the man was no longer present. It seems he wasn't too important for understanding its plot. As for the rest of the commercial, it's quite standard, and nothing particularly interesting. It would have been completely ordinary if not for this strange guy, hidden among the cut-down trees. On the other hand, it's precisely because of him that it got so much attention. Anyway, let's move on to the fourth disturbing commercial for today.
Hello, Mrs. Jensen. You don't have any Snickers in your shopping cart. The neighborhood kids love Snickers on Halloween. Let me help you.
I wouldn't call this commercial particularly disturbing, but you'd be surprised how many people think otherwise. Here we see a woman who comes across a tall humanoid creature while shopping. It strongly urges her to buy more chocolate bars, as Halloween is approaching and the neighborhood kids love them. Bravely overcoming several heart attacks, the woman quickly runs away, leaving the creature alone. And I would have done exactly the same in her place. Fortunately, the commercial doesn't continue to scare the viewers, and soon we see that this sweet tooth is actually a group of disguised children, trying to get treats in such a strange way. This Snickers commercial appeared in 2010, right before the upcoming Halloween, and quickly gained a lot of popularity, especially among children. Some found it quite funny and unusual, while others saw it in a completely different light, and I can fully understand why. The unnatural, nearly 10-foot height of this creature, unsuccessfully pretending to be human, its repulsive appearance and ridiculous clothes, as well as its terrifying mask, almost like Michael Jackson's from my previous video. This can scare anyone, especially if you come across such a commercial at night. However, there is some good news. For a while, the costume of this candy monster was available for purchase at auction, and the proceeds went to charity. Creepy or not, this commercial served a very good cause. And before we move on to our last disturbing commercial for today, I'd ask you to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this kind of content and would like to see more. Thank you.
でも香水もらった。なんかわかんない、くれるって。嘘つき、次会うのすっごい恥ずかしい。
This is not what you imagine when you think of McDonald's, right? Japanese commercials are definitely known for their weird and sometimes quite disturbing content, but this one really pushes the limits. Let's take a closer look. This commercial consists of several episodes, and the first one shows an apartment door that someone is very insistently pulling on, trying to open it. The situation escalates when a clown's hand appears in the doorway, groping for the lock. The commercial ends with the McDonald's logo and a short phrase in Japanese, translating as "McDonald's, there anytime." The next episode shows a ringing phone, which is answered by a woman in her apartment. The caller does not respond to her questions, but somehow the woman figures out what's going on. She lifts the curtains and sees a clown with a phone in his hand, looking right into her window. The third episode of the commercial is my favorite. Here we see the same woman, calmly chatting with someone on the phone. All the while, the camera gradually lowers until the frame captures a creepy clown hiding under her bed. Then the McDonald's logo appears, and the video abruptly ends. And it's quite scary if you think about it. Many people genuinely believe that there once was a creepy McDonald's commercial in Japan. As we've already seen with the previous case, this actually makes sense, as we tend to remember things that scare us a little better. However, in this situation, things are much simpler than they seem. The series of videos featuring a creepy clown is a parody of real McDonald's commercials, playing on their brand slogan in a way that makes it much more creepier. I think they did a good job with it, but that doesn't mean Japanese commercials aren't weird. Many people love the idea, and the creative videos featuring the clown quickly became popular, although they never managed to make it far beyond the Japanese internet. And as much as I hate to say it, this was our last disturbing commercial for today. Thank you for watching this video to the end. You also might like something else on my channel.